Hello everyone, welcome to the day two of SQL Bootcamp. This is Tech Urvashi. Before we start, let me share my screen. Okay, so let's start it again. Let me share my screen. Okay, I hope my screen is visible. Okay, so what I have done, so whatever we did yesterday in the day one, what I've done, I've prepared a document on the same. Okay, so whatever we did, it's just a quick reading, like an infographic. You guys can do a quick reading through this. So this same document, like this is exactly what we did in day one. So this document will help you guys to just quickly recall the concepts. So what I have done, I have kept it inside this day one. Okay, inside this day one folder it is here. Okay, also before we go ahead, I just want to mention here that you guys can access all the material for the link. You will have to join the WhatsApp group. Okay, in WhatsApp group you will get the GitHub link. So I'm putting all the code here itself, but I'm just showing you guys my profile, like where this is. Okay, so if you go to my profile, and if you want the direct link, then you guys can join the WhatsApp community for the same. So here it is, SQL Bootcamp. Okay. So here, okay, here it is day one. So inside this, you will find this document for the quick reading. And here this contains the code that we did in yesterday's session. That is day one, and the PPT itself. Okay. So today is day two. So welcome. I welcome all of you to the day two. Okay. So let's start. So today also, for today's day two also, I've prepared this notes document for you guys. Okay, I'll just open it and show it to you. So this was day one and this is day two. Okay, so after today's session also, I'll give you guys this document for your quick reading. Okay, all right. Now let's go to the PPT. Okay, so what we are going to do today, so we are going to see aggregate functions, which is extremely important. Okay, we'll talk a bit about constraint. We'll be creating tables with constraints. Okay, and then we are going to see the joins topic. That is what we are going to do today. Now here, to begin with. Okay, so I'll be writing the code in the same dweaver. Okay, so firstly I'll show you guys, we'll create a table, and while creating the table, we'll put some constraints. Okay, constraints are like restrictions. Okay, they are like a bit of restrictions that you can put on column. So column level you can add the constraints. Okay, so for example, if you see here, let's say we have a constraint like primary key. Okay, so primary key, if you guys remember, I told you it's like a unique identifier. Okay, so later on it is going to be used something as foreign key. So every table can have one primary key and it has to be present. Okay, second constraint I can add is unique. Okay, so what is the difference between primary key and unique is that primary key cannot have null. Okay, can't have null, plus duplicate is not allowed. Okay, duplicate is not allowed. Okay, let me write it clearly. Okay, and in case of unique, duplicates are not allowed. It is same, but here not allowed. But here we can do something called can have null values. Okay, and as many column attributes you want to make unique, you can do that. For example, your email, contact number. Okay, those attributes you will keep unique. ID will be your primary key. Let me put it here. Your ID will be primary key. Your email, contact number, these fields you will keep your unique. Okay, in a table. And if you like, we'll be doing, once I'll create this table, I'll show you the constraint part, and there you will see this actually works. Okay, then we can put more constraints like not null. Okay, if you don't want any field to be null, like null is, should not be allowed. After that you can put a check. Okay, like if you want, let's say a student age should be greater than equal to 18 for a university admission, something like that. Okay, so we can have that check as well. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let's create the table and we'll be putting these constraints. And again, these constraints are column level. Okay, so if you remember, we did the setup, right? We will be writing the code in dbeaver. If you guys are coding with me, you can write it in dbfiddle. Okay, and I'll be using the same database. Let's use let me check quickly. So if we have any table here, I have to create student table today, and I'll be creating courses. So I don't have that, so I can use this. Also, I'll just quickly check my sample DB. Yeah, so let's use sample DB today. Okay, so I'll say use sample DB means I'm saying use this table, use this database. Okay, so first thing we need to choose is the database. Okay, so now it is selected. Next thing we are going to do here is the table. Okay, so we'll create two tables. One is student, one is courses. Okay, so I'll say create table students. Okay, now while creating this table, right, the moment we put the data type, we put the column name, at the same time you can put the constraint. Okay, we can apply constraint then and there itself. Okay, so here, also team, while doing it, if you have any doubt, something, you guys can put it in the chat box. Okay, anything you have, anything in Merge, any interview prep, like it doesn't have to be just, I'm teaching SQL, so it has to be SQL. Anything you guys can ask. Okay. So here I'll put a ID. We saw that. Then here it is going to be the data type, the attribute name, the data type, and the constraint. So this is the syntax. Then again, we'll put name, varchar, the attribute name, the data type. Okay, the way I'm speaking, when you're practicing, ideally you should speak in a similar manner. It just becomes a habit and it will be easier for you to remember things as well. Okay, syntax wise. Because during interviews, when interviewer will ask you to write queries, it is important you remember it. Okay. Then we will have this varchar. I'll create this. Okay, then I'll put marks. Okay. Now let's say I'll keep email. Now I told you email I can have varchar. Let's say 50. Okay. Plus now I'll say not null means null value is not allowed and it has to be unique. So I've added two constraint in one go. Okay. Then I can put a age. Okay. Age I can put, let's say 18. Okay. Oh, age, let's say tiny end. Okay. Also I can do one thing here. While creating this, okay, we can put check constraint. Let's say age should be greater than equal to 18. So this is the constraint. So whenever I'm adding a data for any student, age should be greater than equal to 18. Okay, or let's say it's a college, so let's keep it 15. Okay, so this is how it's going to come here. Okay, and this is how this table should be created. So now I'll just, okay, there is some and also there is something called auto increment. If I put auto increment here, what will happen that I don't have to provide an email address, the ID value. Okay, if I put auto increment here, I don't have to provide the ID every time. So if I just run this, okay, you guys will see the table is created. If I do select star from students, and you guys will see now what will happen. Auto increment will give me the IDs. Okay, you can see the table schema is ready. Okay, and that is the first thing we do. Once our table schema is ready, now next task is to insert the data inside this table. Okay, and when I'm saying auto increment, so ID will come automatically. Okay, so what we now, how we will insert the data here? We will say insert into table name, whichever fields you have to define. Okay, whichever attributes you have to define. So I have to define, because ID will come on its own. I will be defining all rest all. So let's say name, department, marks, email, okay, and age. So whenever you have a basically what we're trying to do is, because ID will come on its own, right? ID is not something I'm going to define. Auto increment means 1 2 3, it is automatically going to come. So whenever you have a case when you have to define not all the attributes, but let's say one, two, three, four, five. Out of the six, you have to define five attributes on your own. One will come automatically. This is how you insert the data. Insert into students, you give the columns, attributes that you have to define, values, and then you just followed by the value. So ID will come automatically. Okay, and again, the order should be important. Whatever you mention here will be the order for inserting the values. So I'll give department as computer science. Okay, and here I'll say marks as 91. Okay, I'll say marks as, okay, marks I've added. Let's say alina@gmail.com. Okay, and then age, let's say 10. Okay, so now if you see here, I have added a capping here that age should not be, okay, like you guys can see, I have kept a capping that age should not be like age should be greater than equal to 15, and I'm trying to add a age as 10. So if I run this now, you will see I will get a error. Okay, so it is saying that constraint failed. Now whatever constraints we create, okay, you guys can even come here, okay, and in the table you can see all the constraints. So in student table, whatever constraints you are adding, whatever attributes you are adding, what is the size of the attributes, everything you can see. You can see these are the three constraints we have: primary, on the email I have added, and this check. Okay, and my constraint name is check one, constraint name is constraint underscore one. And this is exactly what we are getting. So if you get confused now, what is the name, what is this constraint one? You can just go and check like that. Okay. So now I'll fix this. I'll say 20 and I'll just run this and you will see data will be inserted. Okay, now if I select this, you can see. Now just see here, ID1 is coming automatically. That is the beauty of auto increment. Okay, and now let's insert multiple datas. I'll just copy this. Okay, I'll just quickly write couple of datas here. Let's say Isha. Okay, then I'll give computer science. Then I'll give 90 as a marks. Okay, then I'll give email as isha@gmail.com. Okay, now even email I have said like unique value has to be there. Okay, so let me show you that constraint also. If I try to add the same email address, okay, just see here, I will get an error. Okay, duplicate entry for this email is not allowed. Okay, so I will get an error. So I will come and fix it. Okay, now let's put a lot of datas. Let's say Karan. Okay, I'll say data science. Let's say 85. Karan@gmail.com and 16. Okay. Then I'm going to add Alex. Alex, let's say, is in mechanical. Okay, 80 is the score. Alex@gmail.com. Okay. Also, team, I just want to mention here if you guys want to see, initially it's important you go and practice all of it. Okay. It's important. But if you feel like, okay, we have some error. There is some syntax issue here. Okay, let me quickly check. So current data science 85, A should is 20 only. Okay, I have to put comma. Here you guys can see the rows are added. Okay, so what I was saying here is that it's important that initially you guys go and practice all of it. Okay, how to create the table, how to manipulate the table. So that knowledge is extremely important. But definitely, as let's say you are very well versed with this, how to create the table and everything, then you guys can use any AI tool to just quickly get the data. For example, today after today's session, you guys can just get some sales data from ChatGPT. Simply, it will give you a code, simple code that I am writing, create the table and insert the data. It will give you some sales data. Just try it, and then practice the queries, whatever we are going to see today. Okay, because that will really help you and save your time as well. Okay. Um Okay. Now let's see aggregate, the main topic. Okay, so we have talked a bit about constraints. Okay, so now what is aggregate? Aggregate is like working with the functions in SQL. Okay, so for example, I want to, so whenever you want to get the data holistically, like I want to get the total number of students in a class, I want to get the count of top three students, I want to get the count of, let's say, I want to do the sum of all the price of the salaries in IT department. Okay, I want to do the average of salaries in my company, the whole all the departments, right? So that is exactly where you use aggregate. So holistically, it's like you're doing analysis on the data. Okay, like you're checking count, you're checking sum, you're checking average. So you're holistically doing the checking. That is exactly what aggregate is used for. Okay, so let's start with the very first one. So firstly we'll see count aggregate. Okay, so let's say I want to see total students in this table. Okay, so it is very simple. Okay, just like you do the select star from, okay, students. So this is how you select all the students, right? Let me select and show you. These will come. Now what I'm saying here is that I don't want all this data, like I don't want row data. I want to do analysis on this data. Okay, so we will apply aggregate functions on attribute, again on attribute. Okay, so I'll just wrap this star, because star represent what? Star represent all the attributes, right? This is what it represent. When you do star, what does it mean? That give me uh, all the attributes. Okay, so you do apply this aggregate function attribute level. So now you will see there are total 4 students, and you can literally see as well there are only 4 students. You can see one, two, this one, three, four, five. These students are here. Okay, these are the students we have. So now we are getting the total count. Okay, now let's say I want to do select count. I want to get the count of all the students from students where. Okay, so you can put check, we did where clause yesterday, right? So you can put where here also, where department is equal to computer science. Okay, so if I run this here, here you can see I will get the students who are in IT, who are in computer science department. Okay, now similar to this, I want to do the sum of all the marks who are in, let's say, computer science. I want to do the sum. So what I'll do? So I will say select. Now again, which attribute you want to do sum on? So you want to do sum on salary, you want to do sum on marks. I want to do sum on marks from students. Means select all those students where computer science is present. Now I will just wrap it in a sum. So sum is my aggregate here. Okay. So sum is my aggregate. And you can see I'm applying this aggregate functions on attributes. On the attributes for doing some analysis we use it. See, we are getting 181 here. Okay. Then I want to get average. So I want to get the average of marks from students where department, or let's say for all the students. Okay, so you will get average. Average is simple, right? Total divided by the number. Okay, and similarly we can have, let's say you want to get the student with the maximum marks in a class. You want to get the top student with the in this class, so you can just put max. So student with the maximum marks will come, which is 91. You can see 91 is the maximum. Okay, here what is the maximum score, that minimum score a class in a student have scored in a class. So it's like analysis. Holistically, you're just you have the data. Now you are doing analysis on it. Okay, this is where it is used. So these all are my aggregate functions. Okay, any doubts? I hope it's clear. Any doubt? Okay, now you can try it on any data. Okay, for example, I'll give you guys few ideas here. Like today, like I told you, like you don't have to literally manually create this data over here. Okay, you what you guys can do, you can just take help of like any AI tool to generate. So you can get some car sales data, and you can do analysis. You want to get the total sales of the cars, okay, a specific car or vehicles in the month of 2000, in the month of April. Okay, or you want to get the total sales of the particular vehicle, okay, for a specific brand in the month of January, okay, or in the year 2020. So you can do all those analysis using this aggregate functions. Okay. All right. Now next that we are going to do is group by. Okay, so we'll do group by and having. These are the two things we'll see here. Okay, so we have seen this. Now we'll see Group by. So group by is basically used to group the data. Okay, group the data is generally, let's say there is a place, okay, let's say there is a column where you have some duplicate. Okay, for example, department can have duplicate. Okay, so let's say you want to group the data as one single. Okay, so let's say you want to, generally when you get a query like individual, per department, per something, okay, or individually for each, whenever you hear this word each, individually for each row, okay, or per. So this means now you have to use group. That is how you identify you have to use group. So group is like grouping the common data together. Okay, for example, computer science is here. Okay, so let's say here what I want. I want to find average marks on per every department. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just quickly add one more row here. Okay, okay, I'll just quickly add one more row over here, and I'll just say uh, Alaya. Okay, I'll say mechanical, I'll say 85, and I'll say Alaya, Aggregates, and I'll say 20. Okay, I'll run this. Now I will have one more row in my data. And if I show you guys the data, and you can see the count of the student is 5. Okay. Now for per department wise, I want to get the, let's say I want to get the average score, average marks of students per department. So now I'm not saying one single department, I'm saying every word, each, per, individual. Whenever you hear these words in a query, when someone asks you, that's a question of group. Okay, so it will help you to group the data. Okay, so aggregate was helping you to summarize analysis the data and do the analysis of the data. Okay, group by is basically going to help you to whenever the rows have the same value, okay, you can just group them based on department based on this. Okay, so let's find average marks per department. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll say select department. I want to get see department. Okay, comma average marks from students. Okay, now same thing. If you see, I'm selecting department, attribute average marks from students. Instead of putting where, like one specific data, I'll say group by, means give me this data for all the department. Okay, so in real time, where you can use, let's say you want to get the salary of total sum of salary of each department. Instead of here, I said like one department for each department. Now you'll see total department plus the average marks has come. You want to find the count. You don't want like this. You want total count of sum of marks. Okay, you can do that as well. So here you guys can see. So for every department, per every, that is where you use it. Okay. You want to see the total number of students in each department. Okay. So now the question is each means for every you have to. That means group by. Okay. For one specific, you can use where clause. That is how you will identify it. So I know count, I'll just put star means all the attributes will come, and I'll just select this and you can see. So computer science has two, data science has one, mechanical has two students. Okay, this is how it is coming here. That's my group by. Okay. Then after that, next we have is having. Okay, what is having is used. Having is very much like a similar to where only, but you're just putting some conditions on it. Okay. What is having clause? Having clause is like I want to find the average marks for a student. Okay, where average marks is greater than 80. Okay, so I'll continue in the same query. I'll say select department, average marks from students, group by department. Okay, having means inside that the value should be present. Okay, so it's like filtering only. Okay, it's very much like filtering the data before you want to group them. Okay, so you generally use group and having together. Okay, so having average marks greater than 18. So I'm just putting one more condition here. Okay, so here you can't use where, you have to use having. So if I run this, you will see there are three. All are having greater than this. Let's put one more condition greater than 90. Okay, so now you can see I will get only one result. Okay, so earlier we were getting average for each department, then I'm putting one more condition, average is greater than 90. Okay, so that is where you use having clause. It's like a filter only, very much like where, but we use having with the group by. Okay, it's a having clause, just like where. Okay. Now next that we are going to see today is joins. Okay. Now what is now here you can see we have seen update, delete, where. Okay. Now we'll talk about joins. Okay, so join is basically what is join. So in real time team, just think about it. You have, let's say, huge amount of data. Okay. For example, if even if I take one simple e-commerce application example, okay, even if I take a simple e-commerce application example, how just think how many tables could be there. Okay, in real time we are not going to put all the tables together. Like one single table will not have all the data, like all the product data, all the order, every data, right? There will be separate tables for that. Okay, so for example, if I come here, okay, what I'll do here, I'll simply say I will have one order table. Okay, I'll create one case and there will be one customer table. There will be one customer table. Okay, customer table will have all the data. Customer data will table will have all the data over here. Okay, order table will have all the data. Okay, like order details, order id. Now id will be there, order id here, customer id will be there. Okay, this will be my primary key. This will be my primary key in this case. Okay, here what we are going to see is we can just write it as a shortcut, like pk we can write, that means primary key. Okay, this means primary key. So what does this mean now? Okay, that which customer bought what product. Okay, we need to keep a track now, which customer bought what product. Whatever customer bought what product, right? I need that id also. How, otherwise how will I know which customer bought one which product? Because if you go to Amazon and see your order history, right, you can see which, let's say you are a customer and what product you have bought. You can literally go and check that in your order history. So in a order history table, you will have the product ID, which, so which customer bought which product. Okay, now there will be one more table which will have the product IDs. So if I come here, this will be my product table. Okay, product. So what is happening in real time? We just divide this complete part into multiple tables. Like order table will be separate, customer table will be separate, and the product table will be separate. If I take example of e-commerce, okay, but they all these tables need to have some relation. They have to be connected. How? That which customer bought which product, I can have that in a order history. So in order table I need order id also, I need customer id also, I need product id, I need all three of them. Okay, so if you want to see this, like in real time, these all tables will have some relations. Okay, and how these relations will be built, these relations will be built through this primary key. So primary key of individual table, that's now you will understand. Now I told you guys primary every table will have one primary key. This table has one primary key called pid. This will have a cid, okay, customer id, and this will have pid. Okay, this will be oid, not pid. This will be, let's say, OID. So OID is its of own. CID is its of own. And here product is its of own, like primary key. Okay. But here if you see CID is where it will come from. CID will come from, like customer ID will come from another table. Product id will come from another table. Okay, so when this primary key I need of this table, I needed it another table, it becomes foreign key. It becomes foreign key, same key. Okay, which is present customer id inside our customer table. In order table I'll call it as my foreign key. Okay, and the same product id which is inside my product table, which is called as PID, I will call it as foreign key inside the order. So for order table, now there is one primary key and two foreign key. For customer table, there is only one primary key, and for product, there is only one primary key. Okay, this is simple, and you can also think of it like this. Let's say instead of table, there's a person. Okay, you can just think of a person and a table. ठीक है, बहुत ही like here it's very simple to compare. Okay, like there's a person who lives in India. Okay, there's a person who lives in India and there's a table. Okay, we are comparing this table with a person. This person, let's say I live in India, right? So I am living in India. Okay, just like that, this table let's say I have a customer table. Okay, I will have some Aadhaar card, I will have some ID. Okay, when I'm going to another country, let's say I'm going to Canada, okay, or I'm going to, let's say, Australia, okay, any country I'm going to, simply, okay. So what I will be called as, I'll be called as foreigner, okay. And anyone, let's say, coming from Canada, okay, who lives in Canada, Canadian citizen, coming to India, what we'll call that person as? We call that person as foreigner. Simple, right? So you can just remember foreign key concept like this. So anyone who is going from one country to another, from their own citizenship country to another country, we call that person as foreigner. Just like that, when this product ID, okay, and customer ID coming from another table, it will be there. It will be a primary key, which is a primary key in other table. When I'm providing it to order table, right, it becomes foreign key. This is another way of looking at it and to remember this concept. Okay, so someone going from this India to Canada, it's like a simply citizenship of India, but going to Canada, it's a foreigner, just like this foreigner key. In table, our customer ID going from customer table to order table. But just to remember one thing, primary key is what we call it when I'm passing it here, is our foreign key. Like if there is another column, let's say name. Name is not my foreign key. Only primary key, which is any table which is having a primary key, okay, and we are using it in other table as a foreign key. That is what we call it as a foreign key in another table. Okay, only that table. Okay, and for working with joins topic, we need this foreign key. So why I explain this foreign key now, and of course this will give you more perspective about primary key as well. Okay, and why we are discussing, because when you're working with joins, you need to know the relation between the tables. The relation between the table has to be clear. Okay, that is how tables are connected. Now you can think of any domain: healthcare, manufacturing, media tech, space tech, any domain you think of. The table, there are going to be a lot of tables, and tables are going to be connected in a way like this. Okay, through this primary key of one table, which will be a foreign key present in another table, is going to be a foreign key. Okay, how to do it through code? That is something we'll just do in 2 minutes. Okay, before that, okay, so we are going to see joins. Okay, so in this join, there are different type of join. Like inner join is there. Okay, then left join, then outer join. Okay, so before we go to join, let me quickly show you how to define this ID of this primary key of this customer table in order as foreign key. Okay, so let's see that first. I'll be writing the code. Okay, then we will see the joins topic. Okay, so simply let's create a customer table. Let me check, do we have a customer table? Yes, we have customer table here. Okay, we already have a customer in this table now. Let me do one thing. Let me check if I have any other database. Customer, okay, customer is everywhere. Let me check here. It's everywhere. So let's do one thing. Let me drop these tables, okay, which is already present. So I'll just do drop table customers, okay, drop table orders. Okay, so I'll create it again. So basically, I already have these two tables. Okay, I'll drop these. Okay, so these two tables are, okay. We are getting some foreign key cannot. Okay. We cannot delete them because there is some foreign key relation in them. Okay, let me. Okay, just give me one moment. Actually, there is. You guys can see what is happening right now. I'll tell you the problem. Basically, there is a product table here. Okay, and this customer and order IDs, their tables is all the user table is there. These tables are already having a foreign key present. Okay, so it will create a issue. So let me do one thing. Let me use some other database. Let's say products. Okay, so we'll use this database, this sample product. In this, I've created this table, I think, recently only. Yeah, now it's done. Okay, so now you can see, now we are in this database. I'll show you. I've deleted these two tables. Okay. Now you can see there is only user, product, and employee. Okay. So we can start from scratch in this database. So let's start. So firstly, we'll create. Firstly, the topic name is foreign key. Let me just put here. How to define primary key of one table inside other as a primary key. Okay. As a foreign key, I'll say create table. Okay, table name I'll keep customers. Okay, so firstly customer table is what you need to define here. Now we know the syntax. Okay, by now we all understood. Firstly we give the customer id, customer anything id, customer id, int primary key. After that I'll define name varchar. Okay, then I will define city varchar. Okay. Okay. Now one more thing I want to mention here. The way you are defining primary key here, na, you can define primary key like this. I'm just mentioning it. You can define primary key like this also. In this table, what is the primary key? So just for the better, readability, you can just put it like this also. So there are two. You can just put it like this also and this also. Like what will the customer ID inside this? Okay. Now I'll run this and you can see customer table is created. Okay. Now let's insert some data. Insert into customers. Okay, values. So here we can put customer id Alex, city let's say is Pune. Okay, and then we'll add more, let's say to Alaya and Bangalore. Okay, then comma another customer, let's say 3 Alina and Bangalore. Okay, so this is what I have added. I'll select this and run this. Okay, so data is added. I'll say select star from customers. Okay, so this is normally customer ID. I showed you now. So here you have the simple only. Customer will have customer ID. Okay, and product will have product ID if there is a product table. Okay, now we are going to talk about the next part, which is order table. So order table is where you have to define this customer id as a foreign key. Okay, how to do so? So I will simply say here so inside this we'll say create table orders. Okay, inside this order table we'll say order id. Okay, and I will say int comma I'll say order number. I'll say int. I'll say customer ID. Okay. Okay, let me now whatever customer ID we have here, we have to paste the same here. Okay, we have to paste the same here in it. So whatever primary keys of this one table, customer table, we have to copy and paste it here in the form of this table. Okay, so now this is not something value wise, it will come from here only, don't worry. Value wise, this will come from here, like value of the customer ID, which is 1, 2, 3. It will come from this table, right? So here we just have to define it. Now here you will define what is the primary key here. Okay, primary key here is of course order ID. Now next what we need to define is our foreign key. How to define it? So you put foreign keyword here, foreign key. Okay, foreign key, and then you have to define the customer ID here. Okay, so which out of these, which attribute is the foreign key, which is my customer ID. Okay, out of this, which is my foreign key, out of these three, order ID, order number, and customer ID, this is my foreign key. Okay, then references means where it, now you have to connect, because here I'm just mentioning it as a normal attribute. How you are going to connect? So we will say references. Okay, customers table, whatever is the name customers table, will copy this. Okay, and whatever is the name of the same ID here, you can just copy this and paste it here. Okay, on delete cascade. Now what does this step mean? This step means till the time, what is this extra step? You can ignore this also. Okay, this is how your foreign key is created. Okay, this is how your foreign key is created. So the customer primary key of customer table is the foreign key in this table. Okay, so you have to define it normally. This is what, now here what value will come, the one you have defined here. Here the customer ID, which is of the customer table, let's say here the name is ID, right? So you have to put it accordingly. Okay, and also while doing it, you should add one more step like delete cascade. What does it mean? This mean that this is like a constraint we are adding. Okay, that will allow if we delete customer. Okay, if we are delete customer, then it will be automatically deleted from associated tables. Okay, if you don't put this step now, you will get error, like you won't be able to delete. If you remember, I just got the error, okay, before this. This basically means that if we delete something from the customer table, automatically the record will be deleted from the order table. Okay, this is what it means. Okay, now we'll insert the data, insert into orders values. Okay, and here I'll say, so order ID is 101. Okay, this is my order ID. Then order number, I'll keep this. Okay, then I have to put customer ID. Now one thing is important, whatever customer IDs you have here, that has to be present, like 1 2 3 customers, so I'll put the same, comma 102. I'll add some order number, then this, comma, I'll say 103 order ID, comma 3. Okay, then I'll say one next order ID 104, this, and same customer bought another product, let's say 2. Okay, so now if I run this, data is added, and I'll show you select star from orders. So here you guys can see, select star from orders. Okay, we got some errors. Approval does not. Oh, we didn't run this. My bad. Check the near order ID. Order ID. Okay, spelling is wrong. Table is created, data is inserted, and now we'll select the data here. So here you guys can see this customer bought this product. This customer bought this product. So you, because you don't need product name, right? Because order table will have the order ID. So through order ID, I will know which customer bought which product. Okay. So this is what foreign key is, and just remember it with the word foreigner. It's very easy to remember. Okay. All right. I hope it's clear so far. If you have any question, feel free to put it in the chat box. Okay. So, okay. Now, next thing we are going to see is the join. Okay. So now where join? Now, for working with joins, the foreign key and the relation between the table should be established. That has to be there. Okay. Now, what we are going to do in this is that join is basically, building a relation between the tables. Okay. For example, which customer, okay, I have customer table now and I have order table now. Okay, I want to see which customer bought which product, I want to see which customer bought what product. Okay, so that type of data if you want to generate, okay, then you have to combine these two together. Okay, so let's say inner join is very much like, you can think of it, mathematical. We had this sets topic. Okay, so let's say I have one customer table and I have one order table. For example, these. Okay. So what is inner join? Inner join says you want to get only those customers who have ordered something. So you want to get only those customers who have ordered something. So any customer which is present in order table, okay, and in this customer table, right? This is called your inner join. Okay. The next we have is left join. Left join means you want to get all the customers, okay, plus the ones who have ordered something. You want all the customers plus also the one who have ordered something. Then you have left join, right join, outer join. Okay, so many joins are there. Right join is you want to get only those firstly you want only those customers who have ordered, plus you want to see all the order history for all the customers. Like you want to see the data of all the uh, orders. Okay, then you want to see the common one. Okay, then there is called full join. Full join means give me the common data, also all the data from customer, all the data from order. Okay, that's your common data. Okay, now let's start with inner join first. It's very simple, syntax is very simple. Okay, so I want to get only those customers who have literally ordered something. Okay, So firstly, we'll see inner join. Okay. Again, like I told you, foreign key has to be present. Okay, without foreign key, if you want to try this concept, you can do it. Okay, but that's not a correct way. Just like we created student table and we can create a courses table. Okay, or and then we can build a relation. But without foreign key, it's not a like it's practically in a real time. You will never see this. So you will have to create a foreign key. So common IDs has to be present. Okay. So I'll say select. It's very simple. Select from customers means select from the customer table. Inner join orders. Okay. Simple. Select from table one. Inner join table two. Okay. And then on what? On whatever is the primary key here and which is the foreign key here there. So you will say customers simply dot ID whichever customer is present in this customer ID. Let me copy the customer ID. Where is customer ID? Whatever customer ID inside the customer table is present. So basically, which is the customer IDs which is present here. Okay. And one more thing I want to add here. Let me add one more customer here. Okay. I'll tell you the reason because I've created the order for all the three customer one, two, three. Okay. So right now all the customer have the data. So I'll create few more customer, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. So I will create three more customers right now. Okay, so now you can see there are six customers, out of which three have bought the product. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For three, I have created this data. Okay, now I will say orders dot customer ID. Now, if I see, I will get only those customers who have ordered something. Did I? Okay, spellings. Okay, we are getting some error here from customers from. Now just see here. Can you all see? I'm getting only those customers who have bought the product. See, 1, 2, 3, and this customer ID two means two times this person have bought. Okay, so you're getting inner join. So you're getting the common data now. Only those customers who have bought the product. Okay, and here you don't want all. You want one property. You can do that. You can do it like this. You can just let's say you don't want all. So you will say customers dot name comma orders dot order number. Okay, so if you don't want all you can just put orders dot order ID. You can do like this also. Okay, you don't want all, just put those which you want from whichever attribute you want from a specific table. So you can see this person bought this product with this ID, so you can just get a specific columns as well. Okay, specific attribute as well. This is called inner join. Okay. After this, we have something called left join. Okay. Left join means the common data will come, all the customers, plus the data is which is on the left. Let's say customer table is on the left. Okay. So all the data of that table will also come. Okay. So you will simply say select. I want to get all the data from customers, uh, left join orders. Okay, then I'll say on customers dot customer ID and orders dot this. Okay, so all the so now you will see if I run this. If I run this, okay, you will see only those recalls where people have bought something. Now you will get common also plus all the customer data also. See, so you will get all the customer data basically. Okay, and these people have not bought anything, so you will get null value. Okay, the people who have not bought anything, so those data are also coming. So both the tables are combined. You can see customer ID, name, city, and for why null is coming because these people have not bought something, so they are combined. This is left join. So you are building a relation between the tables through foreign key, and then you are joining them. Okay. Right join is you will get the all the data from right table, like order table, all data will come, and for customer and order, the common data will come. See, only the common data plus all the data from the order table is coming. Okay, this is your right join. Okay, so this is what we have in joins. Okay. All right. So here you guys can see I've added this here. Okay. Plus I've added the practice task just like yesterday. This is a task you guys can perform today. Okay. Like find the maximum student with the course fees. Maximum course fees. Okay. So you have to display the highest course fees for each department. Okay. And I've added what you have to use. Then you can identify low performing departments. Okay. Then you can combine student and course data. Like you can apply joins on them. Okay. So just like I created this customer students table, and you can create the same as course table. And whatever course the student have enrolled for, you can put it as a foreign key. Okay, that is how you can do. Okay, course ID. And whatever I have taught you guys today, okay, obviously I'll be pushing all this code to GitHub, okay, and you guys can again join the WhatsApp community, and there you will get like there I'll be pushing all the code, okay. So like next week also I have like another boot camp for React optimization techniques and everything. So all the codes, whatever I'm doing in the session, it's all on my GitHub. Then GitHub link I put it in the WhatsApp community, okay, so you guys can join that. So I'll just save this complete code. I'll give it to you guys. Okay. Plus whatever I've spoken today, it's all here. Okay. If you just give a quick reading here, it's all here. What is group by? What is having diagrammatically? You guys can see. Reading wise also, what is the meaning of group? What is the meaning of having? So theoretically also I've added here. Okay. So where you will find this in this day two. Okay. SQL hyphen two. This is the document. Okay. And how to get this folder, you have to join the community, and there today I'll be pushing it like in half an hour. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Okay, if you guys have any doubt, feel free to put it in the chat box. I can see one doubt. Okay. uh, okay. Here I'm from Brazil. Thanks. Thanks. Okay. Okay. There is one student who is asking for, ma'am, can I working as data associate, but I want to become data analyst. How should I become? Okay. So Alex, Buzz, you will have to definitely go with the some analytics course. Okay. So like firstly, you need to opt for some data science related courses. Okay. Like if you do data science course, then you have a lot of pathways. Like you can go with business analyst, data science engineer. You can go with data analytics. So you have to pick one data science domain, like a very good course, wherever you feel like. If you want to go for free, you can explore multiple resources on YouTube, or you can go with a very structured brand, okay, which provides a very good course in data science, and then that can help you become one. Okay, and that is like going for a course which provides placement would be a better option, to be honest, in today's time. Okay, and but if you're someone who is already working and cope up and just need good resources and everything, then you can just explore YouTube. Okay. Okay, all right. Thank you guys for joining. Okay, this was day two. We'll connect tomorrow. Tomorrow is day three, last day, and I'll be providing you guys with some final capstone project which you can go. And it is not going to be like this is the query and everything. It will be a holistically project statement where you have to put your brain what will be the query applied, and that is exactly what you get in real time. Okay. Plus, in this document, this is one part that you have assignments and everything is mentioned in this document also, by the way. Okay, I've mentioned everything here. Also, a basic setup and solutions also is given here. Okay, so you guys can see it's mentioned here, so you don't even need me after this. You guys can refer this document. Okay, and next week we are having a React bootcamp on optimization. Okay, so if you are from React background, you guys can join that as well. Okay, so thank you guys. Bye.